Hello everyone, my name is Imran Bashir. I'm part of the product team here at Palo Alto Networks. In this section, we'll talk about an exciting innovation in the identity space that Palo Alto Networks will be offering to its customers. So let's get started. Managing identities in today's world is becoming challenging. What used to be one single source of identity, for example, your Active Directory or LDAP, is now changing into multiple sources of identities. And this is due to the nature of how applications are changing from being an on-prem application or being a cloud application. Maybe that's running in public cloud or private cloud or as a SaaS application. This calls for administrators to maintain multiple identities and create a consistent sync between these identities. Implementing a successful zero trust strategy is top of mind for many organizations, which calls for eliminating any assumed trust in the network and constantly verifying users and devices in their activity before granting them access to any of these resources, no matter how they connect to the resources. Although zero trust is a vision and strategy for many organizations, but what we hear is that identity is one of the most important things in implementing a successful zero trust strategy. Hence, it's important to not only consume identity from multiple sources with ease, but also to maintain that identity and keep them always in sync by offering that to your network control points. So you can go and implement and enforce your zero trust strategy. With that, we're excited to introduce Cloud Identity Engine, which offers a number of benefits to our customers. First, they can easily integrate with single or multiple sources of identities of their choice, whether it's on-prem or cloud, doesn't matter. Secondly, it's enabling our customers the platform to start solving their zero trust strategy for a cloud-first world, where they can easily and consistently verify user identity prior to granting them access to the network and using point-and-click IDP integrations. Third, it's unifying identity across all infrastructure by synchronizing users, groups, and their authentication data across all the products. On top of that, it also offers the ability to enable security offerings for cloud identities. For example, preventing credentials-based attacks, and much more. And now customers can deploy pervasive MFA for all applications and for all users, irrespective of how applications or IDPs are connected to their network. Last but not the least, it is investment protection for a lot of our customers, allowing them to use the same policies, but now with cloud identities, and smoothly transition from an on-prem to cloud, be it IDP or firewall or any applications with minimal effort. With that, let's go to the product demonstration. Cloud ID Engine is also offered from the hub, where all the existing applications are being offered. So simply sign into the hub with your credentials, and then you'll get access to your own tenant or instance. Now you'll see that there's an application called Cloud Identity Engine, where you can simply click on that application and go and configure your own tenant. So we'll click on it and choose a tenant. When I'm inside the tenant, there's a number of things to note here. For example, I already have my on-premises Active Directory connected, and it's already pulling users, groups, and computers from my local on-premises Active Directory. So you can simply click on any of these fields. For example, it shows you 5 users and 49 groups. So I'm going to go and click on, let's say, users. This shows me all the attributes that are part of for this user. For example, the account name, the UPN name, when was the last time the user connected to the network, and you have information on all of that. Secondly, I can also go and click on groups, and it shows me all the groups that you have in the system. Now, the cool thing over here is that these groups are always kept in sync with pretty much every few minutes with your on-prem Active Directory, and it's also redistributed to your enforcement points. For example, your on-prem firewall or Prisma access, that's why it's always in sync. Now, next I want to do is go and add an Azure Active Directory. So in this case, we'll just go and sign in with my credentials, which are Azure credentials. So just click on that. I'll put my username and password. And there you go, we're logged in. Once I'm signed in, it shows that I am logged in, and I can also click on test connections to start using the APIs that are offered by Azure. And we'll just start retrieving the name of my tenant ID, and any optional name that is returned as part of these APIs. So we'll just go and use the name that's been offered and click on submit. And that's about it. It only takes a few seconds to synchronize these users and group to the system. And there you go. We have all the users and data synchronized with your Azure AD and Cloud ID Engine. Now, if I click on any of these details, you can also see that there are a number of attributes that are returned from Azure AD, and we can start using these attributes in the policies for on-prem firewall or Prisma. Doesn't really matter. Now, the next thing is that let's go to one of our firewall, and we'll show you how can we use these groups and policies that were just pulled in. So I'll just launch this on-prem firewall. And you'll see that if I go to a rule, let's say, just click on policies. And we'll go to one of these security policies. And you can see that if I go and edit this policy, I can now start using groups that we just pulled from Azure AD. And there all these groups are. I can simply click on any of this group and enforce policies based on these groups. And that's about it. It's very easy to actually go and start using Azure AD and using these groups in your policies. Now, the next thing is that we also want to show you how this works with Prisma Access. So again, Prisma Access is also connected to Cloud ID Engine. And if I go to, let's say, Manage and Settings and just simply click on one of the pre-configured policies, in this case, we'll go and look at the policy which is called Partner Access Rule. So let me scroll down. There you go. And you can see that we already have this policy pre-configured, and it's using the same cloud groups that we pulled from Azure AD, right? So same user experience. Now, the last thing I want to show is the end user experience when they connect to the network. So the moment they open a browser, users are redirected to login page because now they're trying to, let's say, access a SaaS application, or maybe it's simply trying to connect to the network. I can simply click on the open network login page, and you'll notice that the first thing it tries to go to the firewall portal, but then it immediately redirects to the cloud IDP for authentication. So it's actually using your existing IDP or cloud IDP for authentication. So I'll just go in and put my Azure credentials, because in this case, my IDP is Azure. Once I'm logged in, I can start accessing the pages. So the way I've written this policy is that if you're an employee, you have access to, let's say, YouTube. And there you go. You can see that I can go and access YouTube. But if the same employee tries to go and access, let's say, a news media website, for example, CNN, as per policy, that page is not allowed. So you get the notification that the web page is blocked. To summarize, this enables our customers to implement their zero trust policies, no matter how users and devices are connecting to the network, and also enables them to use their same existing policies with all the security features that are offered by our platform, but now enabled with cloud identity providers. This concludes the presentation and the demo. Thank you for watching.